at the Bahasalaman TV. Now, in my previous video, I shared with you how actual historians actually write about our past as a people. And in today's video, I am going to share with you how historians or these historians get the information in order to write about the past. So, in 2014, when I was in Chufupraso Senior High School, my alma mater, I had an encounter with my history teacher. Now, the day before I had this encounter, we had an interesting history topic that we discussed. Now, the topic was Dentra in the making of Asante. So that lesson revealed to me that by the 1660s up to November 1701, the strongest state in the Akan region, occupying the lands from the Ofen to Pra Basin, was the Dentra people. So you can say Ofen to Pra Basin, or say Baby River, Ofen Dam. The freezer area where the best you Chifu Asen, the best Asante. Sansa Sikasian and is what we call the Ofen River Pra Basin. By this 1660s, there were certain states and societies that sprang up within that particular area. Some of these states were the Dentra people, Chifu people, Asen. We have Wasa, the Kwamai people that later became the Asante people. So the strongest of all these states was Dentra, and as a result of that, they enjoyed the hegemony over these particular states. When we say hegemony, we are talking about their political dominance, their authority over these other smaller states in the Akan region. By that time, the ruler of the Dentra people was called Buamponsem. Buamponsem was a strong and intelligent, a very good communicator who led the people of Dentra. By that time, the capital of Dentra was Abankesiso. Now, because of how good and intelligent Buamponsem was, he was able to establish good relationships with the Europeans that had come to Ghana, which was then the Gold Coast, by then. So he was able to enjoy this kind of trade benefits from the Dutch in Elmina and then from the English in Cape Coast. He was able to import, or he was able to trade for ammunition, guns and gunpowder from the Elmina Castle and Cape Coast. As a result of that, he had over the number of European ammunition that was reaching Gold Coast by then. He was importing about 60 to 70% of them, because he by then had been able to establish a strong political unit that ruled over the Akan and the Akan region, the Pra and the Ofen Basin. By 1690s, Buamponsem died, and then another king, a very brilliant one, a very vibrant one, also sprang up. And the name of that king is Ntim Jakeri. Ntim Jakeri also continued the good works of Buamponsem, and as a result of that, Dentra also flourished from the 1690s coming. But at a point in time, the smaller states started becoming angry at the Dentra kingdom, because there were some social policies, social decisions that Ntim Jakeri made, which pushed or which provoked these states around the Dentra hegemony. The first one that I will talk about is the Kwamai people. And when we are talking about Kwamai, it means that we are talking about Osei Tutu and his people, which later became the Asante hegemony. They became very angry, even though they were under the rulership, they were under the authority of the Dentra people. But certain decisions pushed them to fight wars against the Dentra people, as well as the other states around. So the Dentra people started getting certain form of resistance against them from these particular small states. See, before Ntim Jakeri, Dentra was able to conquer all the smaller states around the Pra of Fin Basin, and the state that I mentioned already, the Wasa people, the Dentra, the Wasa people, the Asin, they were able to conquer all of them so that they can monopolize the trade routes that link the forest region to the coast. But at this point in time, Ntim Jakeri started getting resistance. So at a point in time, when the ammunitions were being brought from the coast to the Dentra, or to the Dentra capital, Abankeseso, they faced certain resistance. The Asen, the Chifu, and then the rest, they started fighting against the traders that were bringing in these ammunitions, which the Dentra people would use to help their military grow. So by 1701, in November, the Asantes totally defeated the Dentra people in a town called Fiase. In that battle, the Asantes, led by Osei Tutu, fought for their freedom, and they were able to behead Ntim Jakeri in Fiase. As at that time, when they finished defeating Ntim Jakeri, they went down to the capital of Dentra in Abankeseso, totally unguarded because they had already been defeated. So they raided the town, collected all the treasuries that had already been stored since the time of Boamponse. So you see, the Asantes took all the treasuries, the gold. In fact, a man in the Namo Fabi di Ghana, almost slaves. They ran away south of Dentra to settle in the ruins in the forest zone where they would feel safe from the Asante soldiers. So that was the end of the Dentra hegemony in November 1701. So as an apprentice historian, when I was sitting down in the class, my question that was ringing in my head was, so how did these historians got all this information to write about the past? Where did they get all this information? So on the next day, I went to the office of my teacher because, see, when I was in the SHS, I was a shy type. So I went to my teacher in Chambers, and then I got she too, I was in the office. So when I went there, I started asking him the question, and he saw that I was asking about the sources of writing African history. So he started giving me the chronologic explanations of these sources. So he told me that there are two major sources of writing.